What is good, everyone? Welcome back to another buy now before rare video. Today we've got a lot of updates to go over in addition to a couple of other games that are already big on sale that you can pick up. But before we get into that, what's good, everyone? OJ here. Welcome back to another video. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, and click that notification bell to get my videos as soon as they drop. Now let's go ahead and jump into some updates for games that I covered all the way back in volume 1, I think about a year ago or so. At this point, we've got Xenoblade Chronicles and Astral Chain. Let's first start off with Astral Chain. This game continuously says nope when it comes to sales or deals physical. $53. So once again, hold on to that copy of Astral Chain. If you have it, if it's already opened, hold on to it. Don't sell it. Even if you don't play anymore, hold on to that copy. And if you haven't picked it up yet, now is a great time to pick it up because it does seem like that value is going to hold. We don't know what Nintendo is going to do with the next generation Switch. I'm guessing that there will be a Astral Chain Switch 2 version where it's going to get you updated frame rate and things like that. But for right now, we don't know their plans. And the fact that this game came out years ago, back in 2019, and it's still above $50 new. It's sparse when it comes to copies. You can't find it everywhere. This is absolutely going to be one of those games, which I've talked about for a while now, that will be rare in the distant future when copies are just gone, right? This is not a major, huge, big selling franchise. So this could be a franchise that lasts maybe another game or two, or is just done after this one. We just don't know, although I'm expecting there to be another Astral Chain on the next Switch, but we just don't know. Hold on to that copy, guys. $53 is not bad at all. If you haven't played the game, it's actually incredible. It's one of my favorite games on the Nintendo Switch, if not my favorite game when it comes to certain things. So definitely check out Astral Chain if you haven't, for collector's purposes, or if you just want to play the game, of course, as well. Now, let's get into the Xenoblade Chronicles Vortex. This game is absolutely nuts when it comes to what's going down. Now, Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, that's pretty good when it comes to the price. You shouldn't have any problems when it comes to finding that or even getting some sales or deals. But things get a little bit interesting when it comes to Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Torn of the Golden Country. Of course, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is pretty much in that, okay, you're getting kind of some sales. You can find it for 40 something to $50. I think Nintendo will have it for 40 bucks flats with tax, of course, depending on where you live, for a Black Friday deal. So not bad at all. But Xenoblade Chronicles 2, that's the situation that we're dealing with right now. So right now, it seems like Torn of the Golden Country, which used to be a super rare game at this point, you can find it upwards of $100 for brand new copies. It seems like there was a mass number of reprints, because on Amazon, I'm seeing it for $48 for the standalone physical copy, not a digital copy, not something different, but actually a physical copy. But I don't know, something just seems a little bit off. So just be careful, guys, if you're planning on picking up a physical copy of Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Torn of the Golden Country. If you want it new, make sure where you're buying it from is new. If you're buying it on eBay or Mercari or some of these other third-hand or third-party sites, if they say new, make sure you demand to actually see the box. Same goes for Amazon. I'm just seeing like a generic art, right? Like they need to make sure that it's actually the game and it's the ESRB version, because like with all of these games here, ESRB, because I live here in the US, I'm going off that, and for some reason there is a ESRB tax on all the games that are officially released here. Now, I made a little bit of a mistake with Chrono Cross. That wasn't officially released here. There is no ESRB version, but you guys know what I mean. The only version that's physical when it comes down to it. So with this right here, just make sure, because there's a lot of European games, European copies of stuff that they're trying to pass off as ESRB. And if you want the most valuable one, it's going to be the one here that's supposed to be shipped to the US. There's some ESRB tax for some crazy reason. So just watch out for that. Watch out for people slipping those European copies, you know, in the ESRB and saying, oh no, it's ESRB. No, it's not sometimes. So just be careful. Next up, Xenoblade Chronicles 2. This game, it's really hard to find brand new. You can find it pre-owned and used lots of places, but Amazon, you can't really find it new. It's $52.24 on GameStop pre-owned. New copies just weren't there. I don't know if Nintendo's going to have more reprints of it, because it does seem like this is what's happening. People played Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. Xenoblade 3 came out, jumped out to some pretty good sales for the franchise. Things slowed down a bit, and then people went back to go play Xenoblade Chronicles 2, because that game got a bump in digital sales and some physical where you could find it. So it seems like that's still kind of happening, because the value of the game is still pretty high at $52 plus, and new, if you can find it secondhand sometimes on eBay for $60, $50, but it just, once again, depends. People are not actually having a new copy and saying it's like new, so it's always going to be a little bit weird here, guys. But if I find something where you can get it for a decent price, brand new, of course, I'll cover it in a future update, but I'm just not seeing that right now on Amazon. There's none of that, at least in the area where I'm at. So yeah, just very unfortunate with Xenoblade Chronicles 2. We'll see what happens in the future. Now, let's talk about the Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Special Edition. This has always been pretty rare. I think Nintendo said, you know what, like, nobody's gonna buy this. I don't think they had high expectations for people spending $100 on a Xenoblade game, but people did, and people did in droves, and that was pretty much that. I think there wasn't many reprints, but there was plenty of copies when it first came out. I remember buying my Special Edition actually like after the game came out, so it wasn't like I had it pre-ordered and everything. I just saw it there, and I think it was even a little bit cheaper, and I just like, all right, let me go ahead and just buy it, and I bought it, and now it's like really worth a lot. If you have a CIB edition, that's like, you know, complete in box, it's nice, it's not like heavily worn or anything. We're looking at $170 plus. Now, if you have it brand new, as in never opened, sealed for the most part, not used at all, we're looking at $400 or upwards of $400 plus, just depending on where you go to. This was on eBay that I saw this, but this game, it's like pretty much nowhere new when it comes to the Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Special Edition. For those who have it, they have it, and that's pretty much it. It's not in print or stock anymore. So if you want to pick it up now, it might be a good idea. Or if you want to just wait, or if you have a copy, might want to think about selling it as well, because these buy now before rare, it's not just about buying the game before it goes rare, but if you have something that's rare, hey, maybe if you want to sell it and invest into some other things, you can. So if you have that Special Edition, which I do, because I'm lucky because I got it back then, absolutely hold on to it, or, you know, look at the value, because it is worth quite a bit. Now, let's get into some other games that we haven't covered too much here on the channel. We're going to go ahead and fire through some of them. That's Astra Ascending. This game pretty much was a little bit of a flop when it comes down to it. It had some big names that had worked on some big franchises and RPGs before, but the game has pretty much dropped quite a bit in price. I'm seeing it for around 20 bucks or so, 20 to 30. So if you want to go ahead and pick up that physical of this type of weird turn-based RPG, you can pick that up right now at this point and see what happens in the future. Also, the Rune Factory games, which has been around for forever, right? Rune Factory been around for a decade plus, or whatever the case is, and these games are all getting cheaper on the Switch, but I feel that the print run for these weren't really that much. It's Xseed, so sometimes Xseed games in the past have absolutely just been pretty low print, so just keep your eye out for Rune Factory games. They range anywhere from 30 bucks to 40 or so. Maybe you can even get it cheaper with the holiday sales and deals, so just look out for those guys. Rune Factory is always one of those games that pretty much you don't really see a ton of copies just around the place, and a lot of stores don't even carry the Rune Factory games, so look out for those. Now let's get into some Fire Emblem Warriors action here. Very interesting, because Black Friday deals are still kind of happening, and one of them is Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes. And I know I've covered this before in the past, but the game is only $15 at GameStop, and since October or so, it's been 15 bucks. So if you can grab a copy of Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes for $15, I think that's going to be pretty good, because if you go on Amazon right now, I can't find the game brand new. There are used copies or maybe European copies that you can pick up, but ESRB for Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes, it's not super easy to find in all areas. So just check around, see what you can get, see what the deals are in your area, and if you can pick it up for 15 from GameStop, especially if you can pick it up with the in-store pickup, if they have some at your local store for 15 bucks or close to that price, definitely go there, swoop on that. If you go back and you look, Fire Emblem Warriors, the original game, is about 31 bucks or so on Amazon. So the fact that it's $31 on Amazon and that game's pretty old at this point, something tells me that probably won't be too much rare in the future, even though we've covered it before. But I would say the fact that it's still $30 plus for this old game in a spin-off series might look into getting it. If you don't have it already, the Fire Emblem Warriors games, go ahead and pick those up and just have them just in case, especially if you can keep them sealed. Fire Emblem Warriors 1, Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes. Fire Emblem Warriors 1 actually runs in 60 frames per second on the Nintendo Switch as well. I think that something could happen like the Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition, which ended up becoming kind of rare, you know, when Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity was announced. So maybe something like this happens too with Fire Emblem Warriors, the original. So once again, it's a little bit of a gamble, but we'll have to wait and see how it all plays out in the future. Now, there's a couple other games which I've covered before, but I did want to give you guys some updates. Pokemon games, obviously Pokemon Legends Arceus. I saw that for $47. It's starting to go down just a bit. I think last year, I think I covered it. It was like 50 something or even 60, right? The normal price for what you see for, you know, for Pokemon games. But you're starting to see a lot of the Pokemon games go down in price, whether it's Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, the Shining and Brilliant Diamond or whatever, those remakes, a lot of those go down. And the reason why I say check out all the Pokemon games is because Pokemon games always become rare in the future. Like all the cartridges from like the Nintendo DS, if you have those are worth way more than what you bought them at the time. And even though those games sell tens of millions of copies plus, for some reason they just end up being that way, right? Like way into the future. Pokemon Black and White 2, Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. If you have those cartridges with the box CIB, they're worth a bit. So get these Pokemon games while they're on sale. Get them while you can. So then in 5, 6, 7 years when they're done and there's so many other Pokemon games, you will have those and they'll probably be worth more, especially since they're still in that cartridge format. Now, I do want to talk about Tactics Ogre Reborn. That's $47. That will probably go on sale. These type of old games from Square Enix in the past, you pick those ones up. So I will cover a lot of them that I've covered before just because they vary in price range. I know that Tactics Ogre, I think it was cheaper than this last year, but I want to give you guys just a heads up. Have it on your radar. It should go on sale for maybe 30 bucks or so. I don't think Square Enix is going to print a lot of copies of these. They were kind of upset with a lot of the sales of their games from last year. So that was like Harvestella, and that was Dio Field and Star Ocean, a lot of those games. So I don't know how many of those they're going to have in print. I think Tactics Ogre has actually done a bit better than a lot of those games, considering how good the game is. It's a super high quality strategy RPG. But once again, just don't risk it too much. There's definitely going to be copies, but just be careful with it. 47's a bit high considering, you know, when it came out and all that, but I'm pretty sure you'll be able to find it cheaper when it comes to the holiday deals and sales or within even 2024. So keep that in mind. But all right, guys, that is going to wrap it up here for this. This was a nice little update getting ready for the sales and deals. I will have a brand new episode of Buy Now Before Rare next week as well. So make sure you stay up to date, hit the notification bell, subscribe, all of that for my videos. If you have not seen my previous volumes of it, we have a whole playlist on the channel. You can check it out right here at the end of the video. It's going to be right here on screen for you guys. So watch those if you haven't seen it. A lot of good information coming up on the different games and the prices and everything. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, click that notification bell, and we will see you for the next video. Peace.